Okay, when we first traveled to the Marble Canyon area, we came around this place here, and this is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life, really. I can't even show you in the picture. There's not a lens wide enough to show how giant this area
It was
was.
spectacular. We had just come out of Zion through a forested area, came around the bend, and you can't imagine. The picture doesn't do it justice. It was spectacular.
Yep. And then driving through, you'll drive past the Vermilion Cliffs, which we didn't go into. Our main purpose of being here was to take our kayak down the Colorado. So, plans change all the time out here. So you see what you can see and go visit what you can. And you kind of have to bob and weave with the weather and the accommodations and whatnot. And looking at this, you would think we're just going to have a beautiful day on the water. But trust me, this can change in the blink of an eye, and you have to be super ready with your camp, your vehicles, your body, everything. You need to have a lot of preparation.
For sure in this area. It's a flash flood area. So, Arizona, right? You just have to know that and act. So, but it sure is beautiful.
Now, imagine being the pioneers or people in the 1920s even driving out here. Roads were probably even dirt. And somebody decides they want to live out here. And, you have the American Indians, which there's a reservation very near here, right across the river, actually. But when you look at this, you go, how does this area, how could it even support life of any kind other than what crawls underneath the ground? I mean, it's and some birds maybe, and the river has fish and stuff, but it's hard to imagine you could grow crops here. Now this is called balanced rock, and it fell here, I don't know, thousands of years ago, and then the ground just eroded below it, creating this pedestal that you see here, which is really pretty cool.
And the constant winds. Oh, there's our great little campsite. I love this place. Old metal structures here and there for shade, like they're from the 50s. I thought they were just cool looking.
Yeah.
So we got one. Got a porta potty.
Yeah, and we were here, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, and there was always a place available. So I think it's a first come, first serve, but you pretty much will be able to find a spot.
Especially during the week.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they mostly just come here to kayak down the Colorado.
I'm gonna pour that fizzy stuff down the drain and it'll be good.
Yeah, we actually enjoyed having a couple days just to relax and not necessarily have to get somewhere or have to do something. Mm-hmm. You have to be careful when you're out on the road to not over-plan. Otherwise, it starts feeling like a job. Plan this, go here, you got to be here at a certain time. It's so hard to imagine that we need to bring rain ponchos tomorrow, but I guess so. Food and water.
Mm-hmm.
First aid kit, right?
I got it all. And I'm gonna put each of our water bottles in our backpacks now. And we'll have to fill them up.
We were surrounded by these beautiful cliffs, and it really took a long lens to even get this close. So kind of look around for wildlife and stuff. And then, of course, the river is right here at the edge of our campground, which was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Had a super nice beach here. You could just hang out and wade in the water or whatever. That's Colorado right there. And then just upstream from there is Lees Ferry, where although the boats get in the water for the run. Just imagine somebody came here in the 20s. Their car broke down. They decided to stay here. The real story is a woman named Blanche Russell. She used to be a dancer with the Ziegfeld Follies in the 1920s. She left the glitzy life behind to take care of her husband, Bill, who had tuberculosis. And it was thought that the Southwest, because of the dry desert, was supposed to be really good for his health. So while they're out there exploring, they end up in Marble Canyon. Their car breaks down. They really can't get it going. Long story short, they decide to buy this piece of land and build a little house on it and create this little lodge that you see here. They had cabins for rent and eventually a gas station. And they would accept what kind of living they could make from this in order to sustain life out here, where they really enjoyed the weather and the scenery and the river. And it was a super beautiful place. I mean, it's kind of amazing to think that you just go out here and decide you're going to build a place to live, and you don't even know how you're going to make a dollar. You don't know how you're going to grow food. I can't even imagine you could even grow food here. And so they set forth, and that's where this all started. And that's the original Cliff Dwellers Lodge. And that's where they stayed. So it was fun kind of roaming through the remains of this place.
I've dubbed it the Flintstone House.
And this is the famous Navajo Bridge.
Oh,
And
it was fun to walk across.
the original one is now a footbridge, and the second one is how you drive across to get to and from this area. And that's a fun thing to see. It's got great views, and I'm telling you, this stuff looks so much more amazing in person than any video is going to show you.
You can stay at the newer Cliff Dwellers Lodge up the road.
Yeah.
There's a few places to stay, so if you're not an RVer, you can stay in these places.
Now back to what I was talking about, how you grow food here. This is where the guy who started Lees Ferry, he was a Mormon. He was sent out here by the Mormon Church to create a settlement to help with the great Mormon migration deep into Arizona. So he homesteaded this ranch and somehow figured out how to irrigate the ground and create this orchard. And the orchard that you see here is the one that he did. He grew, and so you can see the ranch that he lived on. He didn't live here too long because he was killed.
Great little calm, nice, peaceful place. You should go.
Yeah, it's got a lot of history, and I think it's worth it just to explore some of the history there. It's a great place to stay. So if you do the Lees Ferry kayaking trip, give yourself a couple days to just relax at the campground and explore the area. There's quite a bit to explore.
That was a fun part of the trip.
I love pioneer cemeteries.
Yeah.
So you can see how long ago people started dying here, and it kind of gives you a timeline of everything. And
And where they came from.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.